All right, section 11, ordering triangle side lengths. So this one here, we're going to talk about angles and sides together. So let's talk about just some bland triangle here. We have a triangle. Maybe this will be A, B, and C. Those are the angles. And opposite the angles, I'm going to put a little A, a little B, and a little C. See how I labeled these to where the C was opposite C, B was opposite B, and A was opposite A, right? The side lengths, A, B, and C, are all lowercase, and the angles are uppercase. That's normally a pretty standard thing to do. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say if A is less than B is less than C, or let me rewrite that a little bit. If measure of angle A is less than measure of angle B is less than measure of angle C, then A is less than B is less than C. So if you put the angles in order from smallest to biggest, then the sides that are opposite them also go in order smallest to biggest. So say A here is the smallest angle, then that tells us that A is the smallest side, right? And then second and then third we can go. Another thing that's important here is that if, and this kind of goes with isosceles triangles just to kind of remind us, if A and C are equal, then side A and side C are equal, right? The opposite side of that angle, they have to be equal. All right, so let's go and look at this. We're going to order the sides from shortest to longest. The sides aren't listed here, so we're going to have to like kind of label them. So this side here, it starts at N, it ends at L. It's going to be called NL. Sometimes we put a little segment above it. Let me see what CUDA will list. They will use the little side length thing there, so we will use that as well. Next up, we'll have N, M, and ML. A lot of the times, they will be in alphabetical order, not always. And they can also be swapped, right? So NL is the same thing as LN, right? Now, let's look at our angles and let's find our smallest angle. The smallest one is 58 here. So that tells us that NM is the shortest. Okay, so we've taken care of that one. What's the next smallest angle? 59. So NL is the next shortest. And lastly, we have ML. Right? Now, if you look at CUDA and it doesn't list that, try swapping the spots of the letters and see if it has that listed. Right? Swap those and just see if that's listed. But those are the sides listed from shortest to longest. We don't know anything about the side lengths, but we know something about the angles. All right, number 3. Again, I'm going to first draw in all my sides. So I have CD, CE, and ED. Our smallest angle is 30. Opposite the 30 is CE. Next up we have 35. Opposite it is ED. And our last one is CD. Moving on. Number 4. The smallest one there is 35. So it's going to be opposite FH. Next up we have 70. So GF, right? Opposite 70 is this side here, which is GF. And then lastly, we have 75, which is GH. Number 5, we have a right angle in here. What is it? It is 90 degrees, right? That's something good. It might be useful. Just go ahead and write that in. So 90 is the biggest one. So XV is the longest. Oops, we're supposed to go smallest to biggest, aren't we? Did I do that correctly last time? I did. Okay. Sorry about that. We need to go smallest to biggest, so we'll start with a 31. So we'll have XV W starting off, right? Opposite that 31 is XW. Then we'll have opposite the 59, which will be WV, and then opposite the 90 will be XV. Number 6, the shortest side here will be 56, so opposite it is FH. Then we have 58, opposite it is FG, and lastly we have GH. Number 7, our smallest one is 31, so opposite it is TV. Next up is 56, so opposite it is UV. And then we have the 93, TU. Well, here we have two equal angles, the 40s, right? 40s are both smaller than 100, so this and this are congruent, so we're going to first list this side and this side. It doesn't matter which order you put them. If you look at CUDA and it doesn't list them in that order, maybe swap them and see if it lists them in that order. So we're going to have ZX and then XY. Lastly, we have our long side, which will be ZY. Number 9, we have our smallest one is 42, so that's going to go with FE. Is that iron? Is FE iron? Maybe not. So we have the the 42 degree with that one. Next up, we have the 56 degree angle, which goes with GE. And lastly, we have the 82 degree angle, which goes with GF. All right, I'm going to erase these because I think it's hard to read, but there we are. Remember, within each segment, you can swap those two letters. Right? So if CUDA doesn't list that problem, or that answer rather, you can swap them. If you have two angles that are equal, or three angles that are equal, you can swap where those sides are, right? So this side is congruent to this side, we said. So you could swap the whole sides into other spots if you need to, right? It's multiple choice, so make sure you double check with the multiple choice just to see which one is correct. So, all right, that's all.